First, I just want to thank you all for being here and let everyone know that we are going off The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is the last part of it. It's from chapters 15 all the way to the end. And I got lots of fun things. So I wanted to start with things that aren't like super important in case people start trickling in. So I thought we could start with our favorite quotes from this section or even the overall book. I'm going to move people around a little again. I'm sure that'll get all kinds of wonky when people trickle in if they do it. Okay. Karen, did you have any like moments or favorite quotes that really hit you on this part of it?
Um, no, I was just looking back on that and um I couldn't pull up one right away. So I can pass for this time.
Okay. How about you, Melody? Did you have anything that really stood out to you?
Two things. One, right after Arthur becomes the Phoenix, and Linus asks him something about how he feels. And he says, for the first time in a long time, I feel completely free.
Yeah.
That really touched me. I really enjoyed that. And also, when Linus goes back to the house and sees Talia in the garden, and she turns around and she's crying, I forgot that part because I've read the book before and I cried again.
The kids made me cry so much. Like it was so hard to read that he was leaving. I kept trying to have to like really hold hope that he was going to come back. But
Yeah.
the scene where they like go together to like protect the kids and stuff, that hit me
Yeah.
hard. Like, and then he turns into this big, beautiful phoenix and stuff. Whole thing was just a big moment. And really like fall in love with their love, you
Yeah.
know? How about you, Robin? Did you have any?
Um, I loved all of it, but my like, especially my favorite like line, I think from this whole, possibly the whole book, is when he says, so when Marty is like saying, that I went to the doctor and he was telling me that my spine is mostly powder, and Linus says that I believe you would be spineless, and I was like, oh, I have to use that on someone.
Yes,
Like,
that was such a good snapback. And extraordinarily nasty for him. Out of character. The baby wake up.
no, I just got inundated by children. Hang on.
Okay. Stephanie, did you have any? Take your time, honey.
There were a lot of good quotes, but
So many good
trying
quotes
to
from this, right?
yeah, let's see, where's that one that I was looking for? Um, I just thought it was really cute when Linus went back the second time after he'd been home and all the kids were just congregating saying if he could stay or not. I thought that was really cute. And then Lucy was talking about the man eating snakes and the bugs that'll burrow behind your eyes or something like that. It's just really cute.
That
And
is
then
so cute.
I don't
You
know
can't
what
take a look.
I can't think of any quotes, but also the way that Arthur and Linus, like when they had their moment, when they first kissed, I thought that was so sweet.
It's so romantic. That whole
Yeah.
scene, the way they said, "Look at Nicholas, look how cute he is. And he kisses." He's our OG mascot. He was the very first one that came on. But yes, the whole scene, the way that they had like set up her house and like the outside and like they were dancing. It was just like, oh my gosh, I am so here for all this. This is just so romantic. I had a couple. Um, and the first one is from Lucy. And Linus tells him that he doesn't have any magical powers. And he says, "You do, Mr. Baker. Arthur told me that there can be magic in the ordinary." I thought that was so sweet. And then the one that hit the hardest for me, I think, um, is this is from Linus. I popped my bubble. It kept me safe, but it also kept me from living. I do that. And then sometimes you don't know what you have until it's no longer there. And then finally, we're not alone. We never have been. We have each other. If I were to leave again, I would wish I were here. I don't want to wish anymore. If you'll have me, I'd like to stay for here for always. And that's what he says to Arthur. It's just so the way that they so tentatively and easily fall in love. It's just beautiful. So thank you all. And then the other thing that I wanted to touch upon is that Robin had asked a question that I missed last week. I wanted to say I'm so sorry because it's such a good question. You had asked about the mention of all the music and like the way that it's a way for everybody to bond and oh my gosh, Melody, you were such a love bug. She sent it to Robin. Oh, that's so sweet.
That is very
Thank
sweet.
you. Oh, that's so sweet. Um, you guys are wonderful. But I missed it. And so when I went back this time to look at questions to ask, I saw it and I thought, wow, there is a lot of mention to specific lyrics. And then Stephanie even brought it up in her question, like there are messages that are being said over and over again. So they constantly do South Home, Bobby Darin's Beyond the Sea, and then that Wish You Were Here quote. And then, of course, all the propaganda. And so that kind of put me into a spin of what is your favorite song? What are the lyrics from it that you love most? Is it something that helps you connect with other people? It is for me. Music is kind of my love language. So that's one of the questions I wanted to ask people to get to know each other more and to kind of bond over it. So we can start back with Stephanie if you want, because Nicholas really wants to like be on camera.
He's being a ham today. I tried to think of what song lyrics are my favorite, and honestly, I love anything that's Led Zeppelin. I love that the fact that they have fantasy in their lyrics. That's always drawn me because I love fantasy books.
I had no idea that
Yeah.
you were a Led Zeppelin fan. That is so cool. That's new for my favorite song from them is Kashmir.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
it's a really good, and it used to be my ringtone until somebody I was like at the grocery store and they're like, you know that song's about cocaine? I'm like, no, I didn't know that at all. I was rolling around with it ringing all the time. But I do love, 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 love the song. How about you, Robin? What is your all-time favorite song or musician or?
So I'm gonna put this out there, and this is a safe space. I am a total Swiftie,
Oh, yeah.
and like I love especially her later stuff. But I got a book. I have a couple of books about her lyrics, and like so I have one book about all the literary
References?
influence and like things that she hides in her songs that are like from books and from like classics and like the research that she does on some of her songs. And like I know there's a lot of haters out there, but like and people who say like, oh, she just writes about her ex-boyfriends, and I'm like, yeah, she doesn't actually. And like even like her most favorite like most famous songs that a lot of people are like, oh, this is just about this, you're like, yeah, it's not actually. And so I just love like her depth of what she writes. And so a lot of her songs like I feel like a lot of people relate to.
It's kind
And
of
I
hard
think
not to. It's
yeah,
kind of
and I
hard
think
not to.
she
Even if you're not a Swiftie, it's hard not to relate. Like you're listening to
just
the lyrics and it's like, oh, damn.
yeah, and
Even hit the
especially
spot.
yeah, like and especially her latest album. I don't know if you've
Tortured
listened to
Poets
it.
Department. It's
Yes.
my favorite one that she's ever done.
Yes, and there's like they're so like some of the depth of the lyrics. Like there's like a whole, like in one of the songs there's a whole stanza, and it's essentially like I died, but it's like the whole stanza, and it's so poetic, and like you're just like, wow, so impressive. So
Oh,
that's kind of, and then my daughter is also become a Swiftie, so now I love that we can like share that together. So
love that. I
yeah, like
love
she
that.
like today we the two of us went and like got some Christmas stuff and ran some errands, and every time we got in the car she's like, "Mommy, put on Taylor Swift."
That is adorable. So you're talking about it. The one of the things that stood out to me is one of her lyrics is people throw rocks at things that shine.
Yeah.
Everyone, there's you either love her or you hate her, right? And so I was kind of like on the fence with her for a while. Like her songs are bops and like the lyrics hit. And I just couldn't figure out. But then my goddaughter, Mackenzie, is obsessed. I'm talking like diehard Swiftie, right? And so she gets to go to the concert and I get to see it all through her and everything. And then she got the Tortured Poet Department like album for me. And I was just like, okay, okay, I'm sold. This album did it for me. The poetry set to the music, it just, and what she did with the Eras tours, like I totally get it.
Mhm.
Totally get it now. But before I was kind of like, I'm not sure yet. Now
Well,
I'm low key ready for it.
yeah, not to usurp, but so I actually fell in love with her after she sued Scooter Braun. So
Okay.
so he bought all of her, so why she's like redone is he bought all of her they're called masters.
Yeah,
So basically like whenever that song is played, he gets paid.
he has her royalties.
Yeah, and so he actually like like sexually harassed her, and a whole bunch of like younger um people in the music industry. Like he preyed on that like really young artist thing.
Yeah.
So she sued him for sexual harassment, but she sued him for $1 and she won the case. And so people were like, why would you sue him for $1? And she's like, because it's not about the money, it's about people understanding that he did these things. And I was like, okay, okay, I'm sold. Like and that's why
Wow.
she re-recorded all of her albums so that he would not make any
I
more
was
money from her.
Okay, I was wondering, like, why is there a Taylor's version? Like, what's
Yes.
that? That's really cool that they're, explaining it to me. I mean, my goddaughter was really down with it, and she tries to like talk Taylor to me, but I'm usually like out in left field. But since this new album, it's beautiful if you haven't listened to it, guys. Like, even if you just read the lyrics, if you like poetry, it's gorgeous. How about you, Melody?
Um, Asking me to pick a favorite song is literally impossible. That could change from day to day, minute to minute. I mean, I'm a 90s grunge girl. Like when I
Me
saw that
too.
your cat's name was Vetter, I was like, "Oh my gosh. Love Pearl Jam. Love 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 Pearl Jam. One of the greatest concerts I've ever seen in my life."
I've seen them 10 times
Have you?
and
I'm
got to
so
be a
jealous.
10 member this year and got my seats moved and stuff. I'm obsessed. And then
Yeah,
Robin has her affection for Taylor. That is how I am with Pearl Jam. So I
there
totally get it.
yeah. But a song lyric that I heard that sticks out of my head all the time. There's a woman, Anna Nalick. She had a song out in like early 2000s that got a little bit of radio play, but her album is fantastic. And she has a song called Consider This, and it's my favorite lyric of all time. I go from bad to worse and later back to better, but I'll never better bridges that I'm bent to burn.
Oh, I got goosebumps. That's
I
good.
love that line.
Oh, I love that. I love that. How about you, Karen?
Um, so I do like Pearl Jam. That is, one of my groups growing up. So, um, I guess maybe showing my age a little. So I have a 2.5-year-old grandson, and so um he likes music too, but I do remember when he was a little baby, I would sing "You Are My Sunshine" to him. So that was one of my favorite songs. And then also I don't know if you are familiar with Kenny Loggins, but he wrote Return to Pooh Corner because I'm a big, huge Winnie the Pooh fan. So um, I love singing that to my grandson too. So.
I love that. So my dog is 17 years, the one that passed 2 years ago. Penny Lee, I sing "You're My Sunshine" to her every single night before bed.
Yeah.
And so you're not really showing your age because my my cousin Mary is kind of like my sister. I was 18 when she was born, and now she has a 3-year-old. And her and I are now bonding over Chapel Roan. So the 3-year-old and I are singing Pink Pony Club, and how it's so weird how like you can connect to people on a level like that and make memories. And that meant so much to me, Robin, that you brought that up, and I'm so sorry I missed it. So I wanted to also talk about okay, my first question was the theme of the book's ending is prioritizing surrounding yourself with people who feel like home. Who feels like home to you? Who makes you feel like you are wholeheartedly accepted? And why, if you can? And we'll start back with Karen.
Um, so that would be my husband, and my sister, who I'm very close to, and as I said, my grandson, because my grandson, I don't feel old enough to be a grandmother, and now I have um, two grandsons, but the first grandson we've had, there was an unfortunate situation where we ended up getting custody of him from like 3 months to 18 months.
Oh, wow.
So, we raised him, and so we still have partial custody with him. So, but he is just so cute and so sweet, and it's just getting smarter and better,
Oh.
every day. So,
What is
um,
it about them that feels like home? Is it like a sense of security, of longevity, of like a knowing?
well, with my sister, we grew up together, so we've experienced the same situations. Um, we have a very small family, so um, the two of us are very close, but not everybody else in my family is very close. Um, my husband, I mean, we've been together for almost 11 years. So, um,
Amazing.
and, you know, we have our own house now, and we have, we, obviously we have one daughter living at home. She is
Oh,
20, almost 21. And then the other three of my stepkids, they live various other places. So,
wow. That's fascinating.
yeah.
11 years is a really long time to be married. And
Yeah.
Melody's right. You do not look old enough to have grandchildren. But I totally get it because my niece, June, she feels, I mean, I'm 47. Like, that is possible, right? But I don't feel old enough to be like
Right.
around the home.
That's
But
the same with me. I'm 49, but my grandson was born when I was 47.
hmm
So, um, yeah. So I think I might have been 46. But, and then I have another grandson who they just moved to Florida, and he's 8 months old. So
Oh, how cute.
I know I don't get to see him very much, but we did FaceTime tonight with him, so that was good.
Robin, you look very young. You're covered in babies and you look very young. So, I expected you. If I had to guess, I'd say 32. Like you're so happy. How about you, Melody? What feels like home to you? And is it people? Is it a place? Is it a feeling?
My home really just feels like home. It's my favorite place to be here with my husband. I love to go out, I love to travel, but like this is the place that I want to come to at the end of every day. This is where I want to be with him, with my cats, on my couch, in my bed, wherever, just here. Like it's the place I can just totally relax. You know, I would, there's nowhere I'd rather be.
I love that. I love that. It's almost like a pair of like old comfy house shoes. It's like cozy and
Hmm.
warm and happy, you know?
Yes, yes.
How about you, Robin? I'm sure it involves your babies and your funny, wildly zany husband. Who I is it Josh? Is his name Josh?
Yes,
Okay, okay.
his name
Yeah.
is.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So yes, my husband and my kids definitely make me feel like home, even if sometimes I want to murder them. Or we say unalive them here. So like there are many days when I'm like, I will not unalive my children today. But they do definitely and we so those of you who have seen me disappear and or talk about or have seen me have the baby. So our baby that we just have had, who's 6 months old now, is like our last baby, and like it was always intended to be our last baby. And so, but then like my kids that I had before, I was always like, oh, I don't know, maybe we'll be done, maybe. And now our little family just feels complete, and it feels like this is what made our house a home. And then I also have my sister. My sister and I are very, very close. We weren't growing up. We were like fought like cats and dogs. Like she put me in the hospital many times, and like but like as adults, we're the best of friends. And she is the person who, if something happens, or like she knows everything. And like I can talk to her about anything, I can ask her for advice, and she never judges. And she's just always like been there for me. And then also, you said I love the Hocking Hills, and I know Melody has a connection to the Hocking Hills too. And for me, this is home, and it's always been, regardless of like where I've lived. Like I left here at 18, and I've lived literally all over the world. And this has always been home. And so when we were kind of like deciding like what to do with our family, it just made so much sense to come here. And I'm so glad that my kids get to also call this home. And so, yeah, like whenever I'm somewhere else, I'm always like, no, I'm ready to be back in the Hocking Hills. So,
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful area. I can completely see that being someplace that feels like home. One of my really good friends lives there too, and she feels the exact same way. She's like, "How can you leave?" Because I come to visit a lot, and she's like, "How can you leave?" I'm like, "It's not that far away. You can always come back. I'm a city girl." But I do love it. I do. Stephanie, how about you, honey?
So I'm gonna go with my husband. We've actually been married almost 9 years, coming up on December 11th. Been
Oh,
together almost 15, and we both went to OU. So that feels like home to me. Athens does. It really does. And we go down there for the football games, because we have season tickets and everything. And it's just it's just such a peaceful place. Like it gets me in the heart. It really does.
nostalgia. The
Yep, it
nostalgia takes
is.
you back. Hmm.
It does. And I even felt, even when I was going down to college there, it felt like home too. Even every time I would come back to, my town that I live in now, I'm like, I want to go back to Athens. But then I also have friends that are my home too. And, Nicholas and Charlotte, my kitty, cat, and dog, they're my home. But, and you guys were talking about, you know, you were, Karen was talking about being a grandma. You were talking about being an
And
auntie. I'm an auntie too. When I got with Robert, the youngest one, he was about a year and a half. So he
he's
remembers
listening.
having me around.
Right.
So that just feels so weird because he's 17 now and he's trying to figure out where he wants to go to college. And I'm just like mind blown, you know? And I love all the kids, you know, all my nieces and nephews because we don't have kids yet, but they all have a part of me and they always feel like home. I mean, they'll have you crack up laughing and just having fun. They're
Aww.
so good. They're so good.
You and Robert have like the most amazing connection. Like just being around you guys together, you can just feel this sense of like yin and yang. Like you just balance each other so well. And the way you interact and the advice he gives you and the way that you help him, I can tell that's definitely your safe space. It just is.
Yes.
I can always see like a relief when you can lean on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Oh
of
yeah.
course, I mean, Nicholas and his teeth, like how can you not feel happy and at home with the little underbite? I answered the question too, and I was trying to figure out what identified it for me. Because I've lost so much of my family. I think you guys know that I've like pretty much everybody, um, other than two people are gone. And but I've had one lifelong best friend since I was born, and her name is Angie. And Robin, you were like talking about you and your sister. So me and Angie, like, that's like ride or die. That's what we call that. Like, oh, Udi's coming. Hi, Udi. Hello, beautiful. Hi, it's so good to see you. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. We're just getting into like a little bit of the meat of the questions. You haven't missed a whole lot.
Awesome. Good. Sorry for the delay. I miss you guys.
Oh, we missed you too. It's so nice to see you. We are going over the question of what does home feel like for you? And I was just telling them that my best friend Angie is like my ride or die, my person who's like saved my life. And she's also the person like if I had to like hide a body, I would call her, no questions asked. And then oddly, like my wife, of course, my home, my this house that I live in, I get angry with it, but it's a house. Oh my God, there's rats and baby. Oh, hello, baby. Which one is this?
This one is Timu.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a little butthole.
they they have grown some.
I know. Yeah, they're little chonkers.
Oh
They
yeah.
they definitely get fed a lot better than I do. They got tomatoes and carrots today. They stuffed their nose at celery. They're like, we don't want that.
No, I don't like that. Oh my God, they're so cute. Oh, they're so cute. I would be messing with them all the time. I'd probably drive them crazy.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
do. They don't sleep because of me.
they're precious. And then, well, I was gonna say, the house that I live in now, my grandparents left to me. So they had custody of me. And I came to this house from the hospital. I lived here until I was 15 and then went back to my parents and then came back when they gave it to me when I was 30. So it's the house that built me. So like I can't leave it. Like Miranda Lambert has a song about it and like that's where I swear I learned to play my guitar in this bedroom with my guitar on the wall. And like my hamster's buried in the backyard, like this house is my soul. Even though I probably should sell it and move on, I just can't. And then my last one is Stephanie, and I'm so glad she's here because I don't know if you guys know, but just really quickly, Stephanie and I's mom both passed away from pancreatic cancer. We both are only children from our mom, and neither one of us can have had kids yet. And I don't know how the universe. Oh, there's Stephanie. Are you here, honey? Oh, look, I'm talking about you and you're not even here. There you are. Hi, you got booted. Can you hear us, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, there you are. I was just talking about you. I was talking about how you're one of my people that are home, and how our moms both passed away the same way, and how we're only children, and how I don't know, the universe just collided. Somehow we became Facebook friends, and the next thing I knew, we're like sisters. And so, if there's something going on, I don't care if it's 2 a.m. or whatever, we always find each other and are always there for each other. So that to me, I think, is trust might be what home feels like for me. Odie, how about you, honey? What feels like home to you? Is it a feeling? Is it a person? Is it a place?
It is all of those with me as for my feelings. I don't think I could make a home without my partner. Um, he definitely is my counterpart, and I feel with him I could build a home anywhere, and my animals. I gotta have my babies,
Uh-huh.
and I will be inheriting my childhood home, and that is definitely another. I can make that my home, you know?
Sweet. Oh, wow. It is an experience. It's
Mhm.
definitely an experience, especially if you had any kind of trauma in your childhood. Processing that trauma in that place. Oh, the baby. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love all of your animals and kids. I'm so attached. It's so cute. And then Udi, I wanted to ask you, oh my gosh, did she get the hairball out? Good, good. So here, Vetter, okay, right? Like he doesn't get hairballs. He doesn't groom himself. He makes me groom him. I have to brush him. I have to get his eyes. I have to wipe his little butt. Like he won't groom. I don't know. He doesn't get hairballs. He doesn't do anything with grooming. But I was just thinking, like, again, it's odd that he doesn't. But anyway, Udi, what is your favorite song or lyric?
Ooh, that's hard. I
I
have
know.
way too many. I'm probably gonna go with favorite band.
Yeah.
Um, Evanescence is like my, yeah,
Shut the front
especially,
door.
yeah, she's my homie. If I ever get to
Amy
see
Lee.
her live, yes, oh my God. If I ever get to see her live, if she's at after, I really hope she's at Aftershock next year because I would be so
Three
happy.
times. And
I know.
it is so beautiful. The experience, the first time I ever saw her, I was like in the fifth row and I just cried the whole time like a lunatic.
Hmm.
Every song, I was pouring the tears. Like it just was the most surreal experience for me to be like that close to her. The last time I saw her was last winter and we were in the nosebleeds, but still, it didn't matter. I was still hearing her voice.
Yes, just to see her, I don't care how far away I am. Like I've been following her since before she was famous,
Yeah.
and I would I would love to see her live. She just my best friends have gotten to see her live, and I'm just so envious.
Oh, I fell in love with her when she did Sally's song from The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's when I first figured out who she was. I loved Sally. Anyway, yeah, I followed her all over the place. I adore her. She's also like big time woman crush every day. Like that is totally my vibe. So I will move on to our next question. Um, I think it's important that we talk about Zoe being a lesbian and that she ends up with Helen. So at the end, she like kisses her hand goodbye. And I think I told you guys, I don't know if you guys can see very well, but I did my eye makeup in Ocean, and then I have violet rhinestones for her. She's my favorite character, so I did it in homage to her. I was gonna do Phoenix Eyes, but then I thought that might spoil it for like people and stuff, so I wanted to do her. But what do you guys think about her being with Helen? I have to know your guys' thoughts. And we'll start with Stephanie.
I'm all for it. I was so happy when I found out that her and Zoe got together. I just think that they complement each other, and I was just so excited. I love all the love that the book has in it.
I know.
They're everything, male love, female love, you know.
Right? It's so beautiful. And I thought it was so interesting because Linus had talked about sprites being so individualistic and like not like wanting anybody in their space. And then the fact that I was totally blown away, was not expecting it. Robin, are you here? She might be baby occupied. We'll go to Udi.
It made me super happy. I kind of saw it. I was hoping it would happen. And when it actually did happen, because I knew there was like they couldn't just make it just about this one person, especially since, they're trying to make it a whole, like a home vibe. And I loved to see that that they gravitated towards each other. It was really cute.
Oh, I was totally blown away. It was completely shocked, totally not expecting it at all. It's okay, Robin. Can you get it back on now? And if not, that's okay.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So what
Sorry,
are
like
your
my
thoughts?
little like bar wouldn't come up. Could you repeat the question?
Sure. I was just about Zoe and Helen getting together and like her being a lesbian. Like I was not prepared for that at all. I mean, so excited, but I was blown away.
Yes, I was also like, wait, what? I had to go back and like read that paragraph again because I was less blown away by Zoe than I was by Helen.
Yes, but she's a
Because I was
sprite and
like,
she's supposed to be alone. I don't know. I'm like, I
yeah,
got Gaydar even in the book. I done knew she was
yep,
something because I was crushing on her hard. I had to drop the book. I was like, I cannot even believe I knew all this time. I
the
was
whole
so
time.
excited. Oh, yeah. So I'm so happy because I thought she's gonna be so lone. I don't know. Like, I guess sprites don't get lonely, but I thought she would be because Arthur has a companion now, but no, she has Helen.
But
Um,
also, I thought it made sense because of Helen's like how fiercely she and I was like, oh, she maybe got a little crush and was
uh-huh.
like, nope, I'm gonna defend these all of these and yeah, so
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree. How about you, Melody? So you knew this was coming because you had read the book.
Yes.
What did you
Well,
think the first time? Were you like, whoa, this is out of left field like me? Or were you like, I was so expecting this?
um, honestly, I don't remember. Last week, though, when you guys were talking about whether Helen was going to come back to the island, I was like, oh, God, I can't wait for them to find out. But
Yeah.
you saying you're surprised by Zoe, now you know how Linus felt. So he went to that island with all these expectations of all these different magical creatures and how they act and how they are, and was just completely blown away because they superseded his expectations.
You're right. You're so right. Yeah, the whole book blew me away, honestly. How about you, Karen? Did you see it coming? Could you feel the vibe? I just was so blindsided by it.
No, I didn't guess it because I was thinking the same way you were, that the sprites were individualistic, and I kind of felt sorry for her in some parts because I was like, she's all alone, you know, and I was like, oh no, but I was really glad it because I like the character of Helen. I like her.
Yeah. I know. So the other thing that I wanted to also talk about is Lucy is such an important character in the book because I mean, Antichrist, whatever type of thing. Um, and in turn with that, I have a second question. So my first question is, what do you think will happen to Lucy as he grows and becomes an adult? And what do you think will happen with any of the other kids? Do you see any of the other children leaving this island and becoming something else as adults? And Karen, we'll go back to you. I think you're muted. Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Can you say that one more time? Just I was distracted. My
Oh,
dog
that's
was
okay.
coming in.
Sure. What do you think happens to the kids, primarily Lucy, as an adult?
Um, well, I'm hoping that the relationship with Linus and Arthur, develops them into adults where they can feel like that they are accepted for what they are, but can thrive as well. Um,
Yeah.
with Lucy, I mean, there's going to be a lot of work to try to get him to be accepted by others. So, because he does have a weird sense of humor, and he does have, but deep down inside, he is a very kind person. He's very sweet
He is
when he
sweet,
wants to
right?
be.
There's an endearment there.
Yeah.
I'm curious, as puberty hits and things happen, if he will get more evil. I guess that's what I was like wanting to know if you guys think that like he'll become darker. Or if you think maybe them having like they're going to be adopted, they're going to have two dads now, they're going to have like this. I just was curious if you thought this would give the kids more security or if you thought like even like they may still have bad repercussions.
I think it will make them feel more secure, but like as you mentioned, I think as they go through stages of growing up, they're going to face more challenges to be accepted.
There.
Um, and, you know, especially as it appears at the end of the book, they're going to be introducing more children into the fray. So I'm sure there'll be some interesting
Yeah.
dealings with the new children.
I agree. I agree. How about you, Melody? Did you have any like do you think that Chauncey will become a bellhop on the island? Do you think that Sal will become a writer? Do you what do you think will happen as they grow?
Honestly, like Lucy, I think he's going to end up in the same position that Arnold is.
Really?
Taking kids in and helping them out. Um, that's how I see him. And I think everybody else is going to kind of just get what they desire. Chauncey might start his own hotel if he can't get a job as a bellhop, and Sal will continue writing, and uh, Theodore will hang out with him and be his mascot.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that you guys all have happy endings for them in your head.
Yeah.
How about you, Udi? Okay, the rat is so cute when it stands up. It has a chunky belly.
Yeah, she's a fat rat, that's for sure. She's very playful right now. She has the
Cute.
zoomies. Um, I love Lucy and I see the good in him, and I can't see him doing anything that would fit their view of him,
Mhm.
as the Antichrist. I don't think he will do anything in it on purpose.
Okay. Yeah.
And I agree with Karen about wait, was that Karen that just went about right before me?
Oh no, that was Melody.
Melody. I agree with Melody. Now she's trying to escape. Sorry. I agree with Melody that he is definitely going to come into some sort of ownership where he takes in other children and like him.
I
I
love
like
that.
that theory very much.
I love that whole vibe. I yeah, I really, really like that. I thought maybe he might get the music store or something. I wasn't sure, but I like the idea of him becoming like a part of like that, and they would be able to monitor him and the way they can Arthur as well. It's a really cool idea. How about you, Robin? Did you have any ideas on what you think will happen to the kids as they get older?
Yeah, I think that with the changes and things that they're starting to make, like with Daikami, I think this is the fall of Daikami, and I think this is like the end of orphanage or quote unquote, or I'm doing air quotes, but of course then I forgot you can't see me. Um, so like the end of like this kind of era of like putting these kids into these homes and like shunning the magical community. I think that these kids are going to start to grow up kind of like I draw a correlation to like the kids of the civil rights movement kind of
I love
thing,
that.
where it's
I
like
love
they're
that.
still going to face a lot of prejudice, but they're going to have so many opportunities that like their parents didn't, kind of thing. So like the magical people before them didn't have. And I see Lucy definitely becoming like a mentor. I don't know that he will necessarily take in children, because in my head I'm like, maybe they won't need to do that anymore. But similar in that vein of like mentoring other magical children and kind of being like that example of like, yeah, well, I'm the Antichrist, and like if I can still be, a good person
So can
and do
you?
all these things, then surely you can too. So I definitely see them all like having a much brighter future than they probably would have at the beginning of the
I
book.
love that. I love that. I love that you guys went there with that. Um, that's wonderful. How about you, Stephanie? Did you have any visions for them, or like, wow, I can't wait to, I wish I knew what happens?
I'm gonna get the second book. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
me
order
too.
it because I want to know what's going on. I I kind of wondered if Lucy would become kind of like a mentor to other children because they're hinting at the end that there's going to be at least one other kid that they're trying to take in.
Hmm.
And I think Chauncey's going to become a bellhop. I really do because he's already starting to volunteer at the
Yes, that's
hotel.
right. That's
And I
right. He's gonna
absolutely
start
adore
doing that.
him and Lucy. Yeah, and I think I don't know what's going to happen with Theodore and Sal, but there's going to be big things. And I kind of agree with Robin about that. I think that dichotomy is almost over with, and there might be more opportunities than they've ever had before, which would be really good to integrate everybody together,
I
so
think
there
that'll
wouldn't
be
be that
amazing.
prejudice there.
Yeah.
That
Or
would
more
be,
acceptance
yeah.
or something, like a refuge for those
Hmm.
kids versus like almost like an isolation. I love that
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
My final question is, so many of the characters had a persistent fear. Linus coming out of his comfort zone. He pushes himself past his fear and goes back and leaves his old life behind. Arthur fears letting himself be known to anyone other than who already knows. Dikeme, which he doesn't trust, and Zoe, but he reveals himself and stays true to it. So I would wanted to know what your biggest fear is, if you want to share. If you don't, that's okay. You can just tell me how you overcome your fears, or do you avoid them or accept them? Everybody, there's no judgment either. Everybody deals with these things differently. And you go ahead and Stephanie, we'll come back to you.
So I have to think about that. I don't know what my biggest fear is. I think it's probably dying young because, I lost my mom. She was only 56, and that kind of worries me because I haven't done what I've wanted to do so far in life. I've, I help people with my job now, but I'd also like to, be a nurse eventually, and that's where I feel like I'm being pulled to go to. So that kind of scares me. And driving, because I've been in two car accidents, that kind of scares me too. But I just get behind the wheel and I just go about my day. That's
We
what I
talk
have
about
to
this
do.
all the time. We both are
Yeah,
terrified to drive, but we do it anyway.
me too.
I love that. I also wanted to say, like, any type of health, you amaze me. You've been on so many, I don't want to call them health mishaps. I want to call them health adventures because you always spin it. Somehow, some way, you make this horrible situation like an okay thing. And I'm just like over here, like, I've got the sniffles, I'm dying, life is horrible. And you're like, I'm in the hospital again. I'm just like, and you're not, like, you just have such an optimistic soul when it comes to stuff like that. I feel like that's the way that you get past things. Like, you spin positivity on everything you do. And it's so inspiring. Because you know me, I'm like gloom and doom. The absolute worst thing is going to happen, Stephanie. She's always like, no, it's going to be fine. Everything is okay. Like, "Ah!" How about you, Robin? What is your biggest fear? Or how, I know you're a chameleon, and I wonder almost, do you have fears because
Uh,
you're so adaptable?
so I would say my only fear is failure. So I have like a big fear of failure. And it used to manifest when I was younger with in like indecision. So I would have a hard time like kind of going for something because I was too afraid. I was very afraid of like making the wrong decision, or I'm going to try this and I'm going to fail. Now I think it's more about like I'm terrified of failing my children, or like like my kids growing up and being like, she didn't do anything with her life, like that kind of like, that's probably my biggest fear, really. um and that's like just something I kind of just deal with.
I I do too. You're not alone. I appreciate your vulnerability. I've been dealing with that myself. And my therapist brought up to me the reason why we self-sabotage sometimes is because we know what the outcome is going to be. Instead of
Yeah.
like going forward with the fear and failing, and taking the
Yes.
chance to fail. Yeah.
My therapist said the same thing.
Oh,
uh yeah.
those
Well,
truth
and
bombs.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
so and we homeschool. And that's one of my big, like, I'm so terrified of like failing in that respect, and like not giving, like my daughter especially, like not giving her the what she needs, kind of thing.
That's that's really interesting. I feel like if I had children, I would want to homeschool too right now. I have no
Yeah.
qualms about that, right? I mean, maybe back when we were younger, but it's just not the same,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, we started out of kind of necessity. And then it was COVID. And so that was like, we kind of kept going because of COVID. And we were like, yeah, no. And now it's like, now both of my younger two kids, we've already decided like they'll be homeschooled. Like we just, it's a lifestyle now.
I admire that. I admire that a lot. I really think that that would be my choice too, honestly. That's really cool. How about you, Udi? What is your biggest fear? Or how do you deal with fear? Other than, our wake and bake station, which helps take the edge off.
Oh my
If
God,
everybody
does it
knows, me
ever.
and Udi are very 420 friendly.
That's another reason why I was a little late. I had to hit the thing before I joined.
Gotta do
Cooking
what you
took up
gotta
all my
do.
time. I agree with Robin. Failure is definitely one of my biggest fears. I'm definitely afraid of not living up to what I expect in my mind,
Yeah.
and um, not necessarily letting down my parents either. I don't want to disappoint them.
I find it
So
interesting that you don't bring up a, abandonment at all. With being, I was thinking that might be your number one, but I wonder if it was because you were adopted so early.
I think it was because I never felt really like I never knew,
Yeah.
I never knew what it was to be that, and I was picked,
Yeah.
they picked me. Um, so I never really felt a sense of it with them. I have definitely felt it with partners.
Yeah. That's what I was
Um,
wondering. Mm-hmm.
I still feel it, but he reassures me all the freaking time
Right?
Like, no, man, like nothing I say or do is me trying to attack you. I'm here for you. Like, just talk to me, and it's nice.
I love
And
that.
it's he reassures me every day. And it's an upward battle because I do have that from previous partners.
Yeah, me too.
And
And the way
then
that,
heights. Heights.
yeah,
I can't do heights.
really? Oh,
Nope.
I love height. I love height.
No.
I don't want to stand up there and lollygag, but I want to get up there and get the view and get on with it. I'm not going to be up there just tipping my toe over the edge. But I was thinking, the way that Stephanie is positive and Robin is adaptable, you are so chill. That's
I
like,
try to be like
yeah,
I'm too old now. At least I feel like it, to be playing childish games.
yeah,
And
you're
I'm just like, you just take it as you go and
roll with it.
just roll with it, and you gotta just get up and go. And it's hard, and I fight with it every day.
I'm proud
But
of you.
there's some days where I just don't want to do anything,
Yeah,
and I don't.
I
And
see
that's the
that.
important thing. You need to take time for yourself.
Stephanie,
And
I just said that.
it took me learning, losing my job, that I needed to take time for myself because I was just gung ho workaholic 24/7. Like that's all I did.
Yeah, that would never ever be me. How about you, Melody?
Spiders.
Okay, now listen. That cannot be the only. I'm terrified of spiders too. I don't like any bugs. No bugs for me. I don't like killing them, but but there's no universal, like big, deep, dark.
I have a fear of losing the people I love
Yeah,
all the time. Like I I have to just not think about it,
yeah,
or like I would panic every time they're out of my sight.
yeah. That explains why I'm constantly in a state of panic. You
Yeah.
make complete
Oh
sense
yeah.
out of that. Yeah, like I really need to compartmentalize that.
Yeah, I just don't think about it, put it
So we
away.
focus on spiders.
Yes, and that's a
Yeah.
much easier fear to deal with. I just say fuck them and stay away from them.
I really love the nonchalant, we're just gonna block it out. I really like the take on that. Everybody here is dealing with fear differently. I'm really curious how Karen does.
Okay, so I have a couple things. One is I can tend to be claustrophobic. I'm not so severe that I can't get on an elevator or anything like that. But if there is too many people on the elevator and I feel crowded, then I start having issues. Just like the same of going to a concert or going to some type of place where there's a lot of people. If I feel like I'm crowded in, then I start
Is it
to
because you feel like you
having
can't find
anxiety
your
about it.
way out? There's no escape, like you're trapped in a way?
Yeah,
Yeah, my wife
like
struggles with that too. Uh-huh.
yeah. So I mean, I can be outside. I mean, but if I'm crowded around with people, that I have to find a way out because
Always
I
looking
can't
for the
stand it.
exit. Yeah, her too. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, so that's, one fear. I I guess because this is a safe space, I can say this. Um, so I'm a smoker and I am afraid to quit smoking. I want
Dude,
to.
I'm totally struggling with this. Like,
I want to quit smoking, but I am so afraid of what happens after I quit that it prevents me from quitting. And I it's frustrating because I've been able to get rid of a lot of my vices.
yeah.
Like I don't drink anymore. I don't do any of that, but smoking is like the one thing. And um, it's horrible because sometimes my husband is supportive and other times he's not. So,
It's such a
and it gets,
shamed thing now. And there's such a stigma to, it's worse
Mhm.
almost to like smoke cigarettes than it is to smoke pot. So I get it. I really feel you on that.
Mhm.
It's been something I've been struggling with. Stephanie knows. I quit for 18 years and then really bad stuff happened and I picked it up and then now I have to put it down again. And I hate it. I hate this is hell. Quitting smoking is hell, but I think it's worth it. Vaping, if you can get an e-cig and then can dose down, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to say it's heaven, but it's not horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So you
think
just
what Melody asked was,
what
oh,
was
no,
that?
go ahead. I was going to say, Melody asked, what do I think will happen if I quit? Um, like I have smoked for quite a long time.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm going to handle stress when I quit smoking. Like I can't imagine it in my head. So I can't imagine what I would do differently so that even though I know cigarettes is a stressor, I always say like
you
I
get
know
it.
everything bad about smoking.
Yeah.
I know everything, but I can't imagine what I'm going to do when I'm stressed out.
Well, here's the
Besides
thing.
yelling at my husband and walking out the door. I mean, like
Yeah. Oh, I get real
those kinds of
nasty.
things.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah. I get irritable.
I
I get
just don't know what I
cranky.
think about.
It's really uncomfortable. So I feel like, Karen, I
Yeah.
relate most to your way of dealing with fear. Mine is kind of like we're gonna put a pin in it because I can't handle no more shit. So we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, right? And then maybe someday I can kill the spider or be positive or adapt or be chill. But for now, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing because it's working. I started Monjero and started taking a shot and could no longer binge eat. I went from 375 to 235, and your old girl picked up cigarettes. So it turns out I found another vice. So I was
Yeah.
really intrigued. You guys give me so much hope. I love all of you so, so much. You guys are like home to me. To close the meeting, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. We're going to do a wheel spin on best attendance. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh. Did it pick? Oh, here we go. Share. Can y'all see the little wheel? Are we good? Yeah, okay, cool. Let's spin this. It. You came to every meeting, even though you were still late, you still came to every one of them. So you were on it. So thank you. You win best attendance. So I'm gonna let you pick this time because you already have merch. So you can either book goodies or merch. We're gonna vote for MVP. Stephanie won the quiz. She's got book goodies coming. And then Karen is our rookie award. So that's what we're at right now. I think whoever was late, the Christmas murder game by Alexandra Benedict won by 13 votes by Emily's Choice. Oh, you see my eyeshadow now. Maybe if I turn down my light a little or up so you guys can see it. But I tried to make it like fairy wings a little bit. I really love Zoe. So we are going to read through to the end of chapter 11 of this book. If anybody else, so Robin or anybody, if you ever have trouble getting a book, thank you guys. Let me know because I have Audible and I always download the book and you can log into my Audible and listen to it anytime. So, like Robin's done that, Aaron's done that. If you ever have any trouble, I'm here for that. Otherwise, I think, did I miss anything, guys? Did we cover everything? I think we're good. I think we're good. I'll do the little announcement in our group. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being my strange, unusual, magical creatures. I love every one of you with my whole heart. Have all my love
Oh,
and light. Happy reading. I'll see you next week. Bye.
thanks. Bye.